Hello, it's the Beginner Crafter. Welcome to another WIPTube. I did work on quite a few projects, not as much as I used to in the past few WIPTubes, but still quite a lot. And I'll start with my favorite project so far, which is the test knitting for Ruska Pullover. And it's a design by Klara Pushin, and I have almost full left sleeve. I still have about 20 rows on the sleeve. Then I will move to a shoulder part of it, then the yoke and the right shoulder. And I think the most difficult part is behind me. I mean, learning almost all the new stitches that I had to learn, that was quite a challenge, especially at the beginning, and I didn't really learn them correctly. As you can see, that I have like holes in here. It's because I didn't really learn properly how to make increases at first. So that's my mistake. I completely forgot about one thing and I did them wrong. But this is at the moment my favorite project because it's just so interesting to make all the things. It is now a bit easier than it used to be at the beginning because I know the stitches. I understand the flow of the pattern much more now. And it's much easier to maneuver things once there are many more stitches on the needles than at the beginning, because there were so many increases at the moment. And it's a lot of fun. Making the sweater is really a lot of fun. I know there are people who can make a sweater like in a week or even a few days. This took me about 3 weeks, not full 3 weeks, but more than 2, and I'm just on a shoulder. But it's fun. It's so much fun, and I really recommend once the pattern is available. If you like knitting, if you want to knit something interesting, this is really a great pattern, and even beginners can do it. It might take a bit more work for beginners like me, but you definitely can do it because I was able to do it. The yarn that I'm using, Nako Ombre, may not be the perfect yarn for it because it's quite fluffy, and in some stitches especially, I tend to put my needle through the yarn, so it splits a little bit and it snags a bit. So you might prefer a different yarn than this one. The yarn in the pattern, the recommended yarn for the pattern is different, but it's not the name I've ever heard before, so I don't think it's available in my country and may not be available in your country as well. Nako, I think, is a little bit more popular in Europe at least, but again, it might not be the best. It's pretty. I like the way the colors change slightly, but it just may be a little bit difficult to handle. Also, there are moments when it's a little thinner, but it's straight, and there are also moments where it's kind of a bit thicker, but it's also like little bumps in it, so it's kind of weird. I don't think you actually see it in the knitted fabric. I don't think you can notice that, but it's just weird. So for beginners, there are a lot of surprises, but I'm looking forward to finishing the sleeve, going into the shoulders. I know there's some different type of cabling in the yoke, and also there's an I-cord hem, or there will be, because I still have to do it. So there are still a few things that I need to learn, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, this is really a great pattern, really fun to make, so I'm looking forward to it. I may not be ready to wear the sweater this winter. We'll see. I'll do my best to finish it quite quickly, because like I said, I think the most difficult part is behind me. So I think there are still like 6 weeks of the test. Yeah, for the testers to knit what we are supposed to knit. So I feel very confident I will finish what I'm supposed to finish. And actually maybe a bit more as well. We'll see how life goes, so to speak. But yeah, this is my favorite project to be working on. So I really like working on it. Like, the only thing is the knitting needles, they are very, very thick, and I tend to push the stitch from the needle because, like I said, the yarn kind of snags, maybe not snags, but sticks to the needle. So I tend to push the needle, and then my fingertip is sore, so I can't work too much at the same time, and sometimes I actually need to take like a day off so that my fingertip stops being so sore, and I need a break, and I need to change things that I'm working on. And so in the time that I don't work on the test knit, I knit Bloom Between the Lines. I didn't knit too much because I prefer to focus on the pullover. So I only managed to knit, like, to finish another repeat of a pattern and slightly more. So I guess it was about half a repeat in total, not too much. I really focused much more on the pullover, and I guess for the next month it will be so as well, because I really well, first I want to be sure I will knit what I'm supposed to knit before the deadline, but I would hope to knit actually the whole sweater before the deadline, so that it's a full usable sweater. And who knows what surprises are later on. So yeah, the wrap kinda is like a project to be done when I can't knit, for example, the pullover, because, for example, I'm traveling and all the charts are a bit too much to handle during travel, while this pattern is much easier because I don't have to look much now at the pattern, and I'm able to easily remember what I'm supposed to knit. Or when, like I said, my fingertip is a little bit too sore. But let me tell you, after knitting the pullover with 5mm needles, 2.5mm needles are so thin, and the yarn is also so thin. It just really it's weird to knit such thin yarn and with such thin needles. The difference is huge when I change from 5mm to 2.5mm. Most of the time when I was knitting, it was quite thin, but absolutely normal. But now the difference is huge. So yeah, this one doesn't change much. It's just slightly longer, but still not quite close to being finished. And I guess next time. Also, I did also work on the cord for mini for beginners mochila bag, but there isn't much of a difference there. I still need about 10 centimeters to be done on kumihimo before I can finish it, and I decided there's really not much to show you as well, and also you can't really see much there because the colors are very, very delicate. You don't really see the pattern, so there's not much point in showing you that. And my cross stitching, let's start maybe with black work stitch along. So I've got November, I finished October patterns, and I did some of the November ones. There are still these two to be finished, and as usual they will be finished here and here in December. And it's so sad that I didn't get to finish them this year. I have to say, November fillers were so far my favorite fillers, like the best month in the whole year. There really isn't a pattern that I didn't enjoy making and that I didn't think it looked pretty. Usually there was some that I liked more, some that I liked less, but in November everyone was great. I loved every one of them, and like I said, I can't really show you these two yet, but I should be able to next time, I think, because I think December fillers should be available either this Friday or next Friday, so I'll be able to finish. And I'm wondering now already about next year's stitch along, because there are already layouts available, and I'm actually super interested in one of the paid layouts. So I'm actually thinking about buying a layout, but I need to wait a little bit because I have quite a lot of things I need to pay for that I guess I will wait a little bit, and I'll just start a bit late probably in the 2024 because I really want to buy it. Just at the moment money is a bit tight, especially before Christmas, but also because other things are happening. So yeah, I will see. Maybe the free patterns are also quite interesting because what I want is that is a different layout than the past 4 years with 2022 that I'm doing. So a different layout than each of those, but also a little bit, something that I would find interesting. And I'm not sure if in the free layouts I saw something that caught my eye. I will have to look at it a bit more in detail because maybe I missed something. But I remember there were some in the paid layouts that I really enjoyed. So I may have a late start in 2024. I also think now that I can compare working on a 14 count like in 2023 stitch along and 18 count from 2020, I definitely don't want 18 count because there are some details, for example here, in the last thing that I did, that in the 18 count you don't really see the stars so well, because the distance between the holes is so tiny. So I think that 18 count is not the best size for the stitch along, so I will choose either 14 count or 16 count. I'll need to have a look at my other previous year's stitch alongs to see whether I had a 16 count in any of them, and if yes, how it compares with a 14 count. Is it better or not? So we'll see about which one I'll be making. So when it comes to 2020, I filled this row, the blue one, so finally nice colors for me. I will have to now grid some more because I need grids for the next row of fillers, and also I can just try to grid a bit more. So I guess I'll be doing that before next time, and then I might already grid some, or I may wait with filling until closer to the end of the year and focus on finishing the 2023 stitch along first and fill those fillers, and then focus on the 2020 so that it's the last one. Well, not the last one. I'm way behind on 2022, so it can wait a little bit longer, I guess. That's what I wanted to say. I also worked on the fairy. You may not see much of a difference because I was mainly backstitching here, the back stitches that I didn't put last time, and they're mostly here on the skirt. So because it's using the same colors that cross stitches were made, you don't really see them much, but also this pattern detail here, that's what I backstitched as well. And now what's left for the fairy is the beading. And on the one hand, great, because that's the last thing for the pattern. So I'm close to finishing, but also I don't know where the beads are. I lost something again, so I'll have to have a look. And there are quite a lot of beads, so it may not be a very fast work to bead everything, but I'm getting really close to finishing it. So yeah, that's the thing. With the fairy, I have just the beading to do, but I need to find the beads, and this might take some time, and then the beading might take some time because I've never done that before, so I don't exactly know how to do that. I'll have to learn that, because now I'm thinking that I really don't know how to do that. I've never done it before. I crocheted with beads, but I think it's a completely different beast with cross stitching, so I'll have to do research first, how to do the beading in cross stitching. So this will be kind of fun to learn, but I don't expect to finish it by the next WIPTube, and possibly even not before the end of the year, which would be a little bit sad because I wanted 2023 to be my finishing year. But I realized that I actually also can do a lot of finishing next year, because I'll also not be working so much, especially in the first half of the year. So I can focus on some things, and because I forgot to finish my Easter decorations this year, I can finish them next year. Which reminds me, I need to find my Christmas bubble to finish before Christmas. I tend to forget about stuff. I tend to lose stuff. If you watched my videos, you know that already, so it's not really surprising. So we'll see. If I manage to finish it this year, great. If I don't, it's not really a tragedy, because I think, yes, the next year I can also focus on finishing stuff, because for the first half of the year I won't be working as much, so I can focus on crafting. I also worked on Miranda, which is my main piece this year, although this sort of the last 2 weeks it didn't turn to be my main work in progress, because I don't know. I only stitched 561 stitches this time on Miranda. In total, in November, well, November technically hasn't finished yet when I'm recording it, but I've decided to move those days into December. So in November I stitched 1662 stitches on Miranda, and I'm at 35.2% in total. And yeah, I think with Miranda I just got a little bit bored with it after the whole year of having it as my main piece. Also, the sea wasn't as much fun as I was hoping it would be. So it just didn't go as well as it goes usually with Miranda. But for the last month, I think I'll try to push myself a bit more and really finish the year with finish the year strong, so that I have quite a lot of progress. So yeah, I hope next time I'll have much more difference to show you between what was before and what's after. And then I worked on Mini Marvelous Garden. That's the last thing that I worked on, the last project to show you. And in here I was filling the white spots. In page 1 there's just one stitch left to stitch. Let me find it. It's not as easy, but it is somewhere here. No, I don't think I can spot it at the moment, but it is there. I know that I have not finished stitching page 1. There's one stitch still left to stitch. I just can't find it anywhere. And then I moved mainly to page 4 or 5. I think technically it's 5 because page number 4 is like a one line there. So I started filling a lot of white spots as well. There are still quite a lot left because the colors keeps sort of skipping to the next pages as well. When I can, I try to also fill in some of the stitches on pages 2 and 3. Sometimes on this page 6 as well, but I try not to do too much of it because first I want to fill as much as I can here, so that it gets much cleaner. So I did stitch a lot on this peacock here in a lot of brown maroon colors. And as you can see, there are already quite a lot of threads parked, even though I had just cleaned up. But yeah, with all those colors, all the cleaning that I've had to do, these are some confetti stitches. So new colors that I have to then park to work on them later. But this is what the peacock looks like at the moment. I'm at 56.58% and I stitched 763 stitches in the last 2 weeks, and this is actually the November total for peacock because previously I hadn't worked on it. So yeah, this is what Mini Marvelous Garden gets. Yeah, I'll see how much of a progress I'll make in December, but I want to make Mini Marvelous Garden my main piece for the next year. And I checked how much I stitched on Miranda, which is my main piece for this year. And I stitched something about 30,000 stitches so far. And with Mini Marvelous Garden, I have less than 30,000 to finish. So what could happen next year is that I would have actually 2 main pieces. Mini Marvelous Garden, get it to finish, and then switch to something else. So we'll see how that will work. I'm really happy with the progress I've made, and I hope in December I also make some more progress with it so that, yeah, I go further and further and it just looks nicer and nicer. So yeah, that's all that I've worked on. That's all I can show you this time. If you've liked the video, please click the thumbs up, leave a comment down below if you want to say something. And if you want to see the progress of my test knitting or any other project that I'm making, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye!